Okay, so I said I wasn't going to do this. I wasn't going to support the NFL season sets for the new Big Country Football charts, but I'm a liar. I woke up this morning at my normal time, 4:30 a.m., cup of coffee, and I have enjoyed my BCF game immensely. I worked hard to make these historic sets, although, I'll make this clear, my games are not replay games. They are meant to be career games, fictional games where you can adjust and change teams and etc. And you're meant to experience that competition, whether it simulates the sport or it simulates the results of a sport. Big Country Football simulates a complete game of football. I don't make any boasts that it is a replay game nor a statistically accurate football game. But I woke up this morning and said, no way. I love my own game. I make these things for me. I'm going to go ahead and finish rating all the 85 teams and all the 58 teams, and then I'll go on to make the seasons I said I would make. I just gotta slow my roll and take time so I don't burn out. But I went ahead this morning feeling good because I played another couple of games of BCF last night. Not even the new charts, the old game, and it's just a fantastic experience. So this morning I woke up determined to make the NFL 1985 BCF. So here's the new. It's in the folder. I'll put the link here. But if you want the updated one to go with the modern charts, and by the way, these are meant to use the modern charts, which are also in here with the new BCF complete rulebook. But and I'm happy I did, because the minute I got to the Cleveland Browns, I said 8-8. I wonder why that was. I mean, obviously Bernie he was a rook. He wasn't yet there. Schottenheimer Company were trying to control the clock. Ooh, their OL's solid. Okay, they got some problems, but 8-8. Oh yeah, that's right, their defense. But then I get over here and I'm like, oh man, when the opponent fumbles the ball, Cleveland runs from it. This is a defense that did not snatch up those fumbles. And then I said, okay, right. This is why these pieces of his history to make this 85 Cleveland Browns different from the 80 somebody else are all these variables on offense. That's great. Needed that offensive line. You'll see why in a second. Obviously, we have all these defensive unit effects, but then it's like, okay, that's it. There's no doubt the first version of these weren't complete. This is complete. And I'm happy I did it, because, wow, did I discover some amazing things. Again, Cincinnati, but the big one, Pittsburgh, rough year for Pittsburgh. Miami, I get to Miami and bam, I think there's only 2 3-rated lines in the game. 3 is the highest line you can have, and they're one. The other, of course, actually, I think Washington Redskins are also a 3. So there's 3 threes in the game. Unbelievable. So then we're like, okay, we can see how Miami on Monday night held their own against that Chicago team with that quick release and their offensive line holding up. It's unbelievable. But their interception, again, they don't modify the fumble, but boy, they help their team pick off passes on defense. But then and the Jets, here's an example of it. How did these guys not win the division? Oh, +2. Yeah, not great. But then I got to the Patriots, the team that made it to the AFC Championship, the team that beat my Raiders, the team that beat the Dolphins. I don't think they beat the Jets to get there. I can't remember. But they were 3rd in the division. Wild card. Only the 2nd wild card in history to get to the Super Bowl. The Raiders in '80 were the first one to get there. The Raiders won it. That was the difference. And then I remembered when I got to their fumble adjustment, this team took the ball away. I mean, they dominated takeaways. Matter of fact, I think they forced the Raiders into 5 in that playoff game. I think they forced the Miami or the Jets. I think the point is they had a brilliant turnover ratio, especially in the last run of the season and to get to the Super Bowl. It all came crashing to a halt against the Bears. The Bears not only avoided turnovers, they took the ball away from New England. But what a good football team. And when you see this, you're like, okay, that's the intangible. That's the thing that makes up for not having the quarterback, right? Not having the defensive line. They do have defense, and they do have the ability to score. Their OL, damn good. And then it's like, okay, there's no doubt. That's why I'm making these. That's why I'm rating these teams. And then of course the fun of it is like, oh my God, how are the Rams? What are the Rams? And then I get to the Rams, like, how do these guys not win the Super Bowl? This is an unbelievably good team. And then I remembered, oh yeah, the Chicago Bears. They shut out Dickerson. They shut out the Rams. They destroyed these teams, and again, I don't know if they'll destroy them when you sit them down to play those matchups, but when you see this effect on the defense, it's like, oh my God, the Rams. This is a damn good football team, damn good football team. All right, and then we get down, and San Fran. You can see why San Fran was 10-6, right? No dominant line. Their defense not really. I mean, above average. I mean, this is a good football team, but they're not the 84 49ers. And then, of course, Saints stink in the Atlanta. And then I got to the Bears, Super Bowl champs. This team had no weaknesses, but then I get to the OL, dominant. These guys just completely dominated running. 619 carries, 2,700 yards, I think 27 touchdowns. Suey, Peyton, I can't think of the other back. Unbelievable. They had a quarterback who could execute the play action and the bomb. They had a receiver who could get deep. A flanker, a solid flanker, but then that O-line that secures every call. So what's going to happen with the Bears, when you roll something and it says OL, they will never be shifted out. These guys, so even if it's a bad roll, the OL is going to guarantee that bad roll. But on those chances, but the reality is their offensive line is not going to allow defenses to change. Well, except Lawrence Taylor. If they play the Giants, Lawrence Taylor can cause effect upon this offensive line, but that's the only unit in the whole game that's going to force these guys to change. That's sweet. And then I got to their defense. Duh. We all knew they had the. And remember when in my write-up I talk about why I don't play 85 replays for other sets, because I don't think they capture the Bears, the reality of the Bears. Well, then I made my set, and I'm like, my game, I don't know if it captures the reality of the Bears either, until we added these pieces, the OL, and the defensive fumble adjustment, and the DIA, and then it's like, oh shit, yeah, this Bears defense in my game now is going to be what I think they are, right? So it's kind of sweet. It's like, oh my God, it adds that piece that does set this Bears defense. Now they're already the best rated, but again, these points are only going to shift plays. They're not going to shift yardage or anything. Well, they are shifting yardage by shifting down, but anyway, unbelievable. Green Bay Packers, and you go through and you start seeing the subtle differences between these teams. Like, wow, Minnesota, takeaway monsters. Unfortunately, no quarterback to speak of, right? Or no production for the quarterback. Detroit, completely and no help defense. They're gonna win some and lose some. Probably lose more against great teams, right? And then you get to Tampa Bay, who let's not kid ourselves, no defense at all. Unfortunately, fortunately though, when they drop the ball, they do have a penchant for getting their hands on it about 55% of the time. And then Dallas, you're like, okay, well, this is the beginning of the end for the Cowboys. 81 was the beginning of the end for the Cowboys, but they were still fighting for their lives. So they have some real good strengths, and their offensive line turns out to not be as good as you'd expect. Their D lacks the impact linebacking unit, but their takeaways, fantastic. Tom Landry defense is always opportunistic. And then the Giants, oh man, this is a team I'm really anxious to play. There's something about their math formula that makes I want to see how this formula funnels through the BCF charts. And so you got to remember, my game doesn't allow you to call plays. It is my charts are a math formula. I know I've had a couple of people say, you should work on your charts. You should probably do more with these charts. Well, they clearly don't recognize that there's a math formula there, and it's designed the way it is on purpose. It's not designed to maybe produce exact quarterback Joe Montana's exact quarterback line. It's not designed to create Marcus Allen's 1,700-yard line. It's designed, when you match the two teams up and you play them, you're going to get a competition that should resemble these teams. But then I get to the Giants and I see their adjustments. And again, this is a team that Lawrence Taylor punishing quarterbacks, balls loose, but then the defense doesn't fall on the ball. And again, if the ball's in the air, they hop it, they jump it. But this is an intriguing team. Great halfback unit, brilliant linebacking unit. 10-6. It's like I wonder if this team could get to the Super Bowl. Obviously remembering the Cowboys, remembering the Bears, the Rams, but there's something intriguing about their numbers, and I'm curious how they'll roll out on the BCF. I haven't played these guys yet. And then, of course, Washington, another team that was in the complete tank with quarterback production. There's only 3 teams in the game with a 3-OL, and they're one of them. So that's amazing. Above average defense, and again, a team that doesn't want to scoop up fumbles, but can force picks. It's amazing. It's just so much fun. And there you have it, folks. That's the new, and I've got it here already in the thing. So go grab it if you want it. The original's still here if you're playing the old set, but at least now I've updated it. I'm going to update 58 for sure, and then I will eventually make some more seasons. But I've got to slow my roll. I've overworked. I've been a little tired, a little burned. I've been harried having house guests at the same time. So you'll have to forgive me if I've been a little short or I'm a little got a little edge to me. But there's reasons outside of my love for this hobby. But I love BCF, and I made those originally for me, and I share them with people who might want to play NFL teams with my football simulator. But I'll say it again one more time. I don't design historic replay games. I design sports games, and some simulate the sport, some simulate the results of the sport. Most of them have a career mode. Most of them allow you to create your own teams and your own players. My games are designed to bring a different thing to the table. Take it or leave it. Hopefully, people can enjoy BCF as much as I can, and hopefully they can see it unfold with their favorite 1985 NFL teams. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.